Hello, everyone. Nice to see you here today for our masterclass. Let's wait a few more minutes until others are joining before we start off. Hello, hello. I see people are joining. Welcome to today's App Marketing User Acquisition Masterclass. Very happy to see some people joining here today. And we will be still waiting 2 or 3 minutes to give basically some other people also the chance to join on time. But really looking forward to the session today. And while we are waiting, I would be very curious for the people that are already here to give me an answer in the chat, which user acquisition or which app marketing channels you are currently using. So just drop a message into the Slack, into the chat here, and let me know. I think you should see my message now in the thread. Let's wait 1 more minute and we will get into today's session. More and more people are joining. Very happy to see you guys to this very exclusive session that we do have today. It is, very happy to see that you have taken use of our Black Friday promotion, and this is invite only session today. So really also I would encourage everyone also at the end of the session, we do have probably some time for questions left. And also if there is anything in between, I will make sure to get latest back to it at the end of the session, but I will also try to make it a bit interactive in between. All right. Then I would say we can start off. Did anyone see my question in the chat? If you want to get me an answer, I would be very curious which channels you're currently using. Are you doing App Store optimization? Are you running also Apple search ads? Or are you doing Google app campaigns or whatever channel it might be? I will tell you in a bit which channels I am using or which channels I used on the example that we will go through today. All right, some of them are using TikTok, Apple search ads, and then we also do have, again, Apple search ads, Google ads, and also Unity and ironSource. Cool. In today's session, I would say let's kick it off and let's get right into the topic. So we will be talking today as a first step for those who are not, who don't know me yet. Who am I? I'm Elena, working here at AppRadar as a product marketer. So basically, in my previous role here at AppRadar, I was closely working with various apps and games out there, helping them succeed with organic and paid user acquisition. So I'm now bringing into that knowledge and trying to give that further to you guys. I am based in Austria. Yeah, my favorite food is sushi, so you can always get me with that. And if you have any questions also after the webinar, feel free to reach out to me via email directly, or you can also find me on LinkedIn. In today's session, before we jump into the results, so what will we be talking about? As a first step, I would like to show you actually which channels we did use or which channels I will be looking at specifically, how to actually decide which metrics to monitor when doing App Store optimization, but also App Store ads. And then one, I would say, crucial thing that I always encountered when doing the analysis, why did actually the installs drop now? How can I understand the impact factors for a change in traffic? And last but not least, we also want to make sure that we are able to fix that and stabilize the traffic again. So the last area would be trying to find high potential areas and trying to find ways to also optimize the traffic again. All right, so let's jump right into it. What were the high-level results over the last 3 months? It's an anonymized data here, but we had a budget of 10K. We had a goal to achieve 30+% installs. We did achieve 30+ installs. and 30% increase in revenue. With channels that we used is Apple Search Ads, Google App Campaigns, and as a base that we also already worked a bit on before is App Store optimization. And how did we do that? How, as a first step, did we actually decide on the user acquisition metrics that we want to monitor in order to make sure that we actually achieve our results and that we can say, hey, this was a success or not? What we always try to look at is at the whole user acquisition funnel. And what I will be focusing on in today's session is basically all the way from how to get those people to be aware of your app until the acquisition. Obviously, it's also important to mention more down the funnel events and more down the funnel steps, but this will be then also a bit of more deeper tracking. That is not the goal of kind of here is really about, hey, how can I get those installs and how can I make sure that people are also downloading the app? So as a first step, when we talk about that awareness phase, it's really all about the reach. So how can I measure that? Is on the one hand, making sure that I get actually displayed in the search results, for example. So getting actually those impressions, no matter if it is now from organic or also from paid traffic. And also another sign for me that I am getting awareness is being achieving a good amount of keyword rankings, especially I would say aiming for results in the top 10 to top 30, because those will also be the keywords that I can expect traffic from when people do not need to scroll down for a very long time. Then moving down, obviously making sure that I rank for relevant keywords or that I bid also on relevant keywords if we're talking, for example, about Apple Search Ads. And then in the consideration phase, really looking at, hey, how many people actually click on it? And here, especially talking then also, what is the price behind it? So how is the cost per click, and how many people actually convert from that step from seeing, for example, the ad or also the page, also in the search results, organic wise, seeing it and then converting also. So how is and clicking into the store listing, and how many store views. So talking about how is the conversion rate from impressions to store views. And also when we talk about the paid world, how is the click conversion rate? And then going further, last but not least, making sure once we have the user in the store listing, so no matter if they were coming now from organic or paid user acquisition, making sure that how is that click to install conversion rate? And when we talk about paid user acquisition, how is the cost per install? So one key metric that we were looking at is actually exactly that conversion rate from click to installs and the cost per install. So basically what we are able to achieve, what we are able to pay per user. All right. But how do we actually now analyze those user acquisition efforts? So we say now we have a dedicated budget, we have certain metrics that we want to achieve. We want to make sure that we get those impressions. We want to make sure that especially we get those installs up. But in between, there are also some drops. It's normal that traffic is having some fluctuations due to different factors. But in order as an app marketer to say, hey, this is now the reason and this is how I can optimize it, I first need to understand how do I analyze properly. And that's what I would like to take a look at with you now. As a first step, I would always take kind of get a high level overview across the different traffic sources. This is now a screenshot from your App Radar App Store performance page, where you would see the different traffic sources. So really looking at now, how is it actually going from App Store search traffic, meaning how much traffic do I get from people seeing my app from the search results? So when someone is typing for a keyword, how often does my app get displayed, and how often does that result also in the download? Can be now again from organic or paid user acquisition, especially when we talk about Apple Search Ads or the App Store, then it could be exactly now from organic or Apple Search Ads, for example, when I bid on a certain keyword. Then obviously we also have the App Store browse traffic. Here, what is attributed behind is basically everything when people are kind of browsing or scrolling through the store, meaning here everything goes under it. That is category rankings, that is featurings, for example. So all the places where users would land when they browse through the store. And not long time ago, also the new Apple Search Ads placement got added. So basically you can run ads on the Today tab as an example, and that would then be also attributed under browse traffic besides the organic part from featurings and category rankings. And then we do have the referral traffic. So everything that is basically, as an example, if I would talk about app referral traffic, if we do have now Facebook ads running and a user is landing from the Facebook app inside my app, or gets attributed, gets targeted to my app, then it would be counted under app referrer. So making sure that, first of all, I understand the high level, what are different traffic sources, and then go into detail and see, okay, how did those different traffic sources evolve? Where do I have potential to improve? Where should I, or where do I have still potential left? And what were actually the reasons behind now a certain change in a specific traffic source? So always really looking at the traffic sources. Obviously, if we target several countries, I should also take a look at a country level and see, hey, did now, I don't know, UK perform better than US, for example, and in which countries do I still have potential left? Which countries should I localize more? Should I optimize more, etc.? But I would say as a first step, really also looking at the different traffic sources. And that brings me already, what do I do now if, assuming my search traffic dropped, but what could be reasons behind? And I would be very curious if anyone wants to share opinions, please write in the chat what could be possible reasons for a drop in search traffic. Let's see if someone answers. Good one. Mark says competitor rises bids. Yeah, absolutely. That's one crucial point. If the competitor is getting very aggressive within, for example, the Apple search ads, and they increase the bids heavily, always remembering that, checking how much do I bid on a specific keyword and how much is the competition doing, or is there any changes in their strategy, no matter if it's now in terms of Apple search ads on how much they bid, or also in terms of what they do on organic side, for example, getting more aggressive on targeting certain keywords, because now all of a sudden they put it everywhere, that specific keyword in their title. They do regular ASO updates, update their screenshots, etc. And simply outperform us. Thanks for the answer, Mark. Let's jump into the scenarios that I did prepare for you. So on the one hand, what I would always check when the search traffic drops, there could be obviously several scenarios, one of them being the one that Mark mentioned just now in the chat, that competitors increase the bids and actually outperform me. But besides that, talking about the organic performance now, it could be on the one hand, making sure to check, did I now lose on any important keyword rankings? So it could be that beforehand, I was always ranking in the top 10 for keywords that also had a decent search volume. And actually that could have been a keyword that I got a lot of traffic from. But now all of a sudden I did decrease in ranking. So instead of being on a top 10 position, my keyword ranking dropped to a top 30. And now as a result, I'm getting less installs from it, or less traffic in general, because simply people are not scrolling anymore to a long way down their search results, but really deciding within a couple of seconds which app to download. And that could be one of the reasons. So as a first step, checking, hey, did I lose any important keyword rankings? Then also the next step, besides that, it also the search behavior in the store can change. So did it now change the search, not only the keyword ranking, but also did actually the search volume behind, so how many people are looking for that keyword, change? So as said, coming back to the example that I brought before, is keyword, let's say I'm a calorie counter app, and beforehand I was ranking on that very high, on that keyword, or now over a certain time during the year, people are less interested in calorie counting, and now people are less searching for that keyword, and that means also less traffic. On the other hand, what I should also check is, hey, did I do any metadata changes? So did I do actually an ASO update and I removed a certain keyword? So let's say I had included before calorie counter in my title, but now I removed it completely, or I did move it to another position. So for example, I did move it into the keyword field because I thought I want to test out a bit, but actually it resulted in a change that it reduced my traffic. That could also be a reason. And then also, obviously, if I did reduce Apple Search Ads or Google App campaigns, especially talking about Apple Search Ads, the search results campaigns with Google App campaigns, also as an important side note here, what got announced very recently, I would say a few weeks ago, is that Google App Campaigns is seeing some attribution changes, which is very positive for us as app marketers. Being that said, means that on Google Play, the search traffic should not in the future any longer be attributed or be affected by Google App Campaigns. So should really purely be organic results and be only under third-party referral, all the Google Ads traffic. But nevertheless, let's look at all those different steps. So when you say, I want to see now, okay, did I actually lose any important keyword rankings? You would simply come on your keyword tracking page in AppRadar, you select the dedicated keywords that you want to see, and you check out in more detail in the specific country, hey, how did now my keyword ranking evolve over a certain time period? I always recommend to look at the longer time period, let's say last 90 days, for example, to really see the evolution and be able to also figure out, okay, was it now on a specific date? So for example, here, mid of September, there was a certain drop, but it kind of stabilizes after again. But what happened there? Does it then also correlate with a drop in installs and so on? And I would really recommend you to make sure to check out especially those high performing keywords. So keywords where you really are in the top 10 or up to top 30, make sure to check them on a weekly basis to see if there is anything jumping into your eyes that you should work on to fix it, also to get back on that keyword ranking level. The same as I said before, yeah, I mean, the classical example, yeah, in terms of search volume change and how people are searching differently in the stores depending on certain times of the year. One great example that we just had now is the Black Friday. Yeah, we see that during a certain time, obviously, yeah, now until the end of October, it already starts to increase the search volume. People start looking for Black Friday offers. Obviously, the peak is then in November during the Black Friday itself, but that could be a perfect scenario if maybe beforehand I had targeted a keyword where simply I got a lot of traffic from because the search volume was very high. But then after Black Friday is over, the search volume significantly drops again, or it could also be simply another, this is now a very seasonal keyword, but it could also be the example before, yeah, calorie counter. Could be that beginning of the year, people are actively looking for ways to start better ways into the new year to lose weight and stuff and all those things around it. That also it could be, if we check out the numbers, that during certain times of the year, people then don't search that aggressively anymore. So also checking out, hey, maybe it's not really my fault, but maybe there is just change in search behavior. And that you can also check out in AppRadar under your keyword tracking page by simply going on the search volume. Then I said before also, yeah, we had now, okay, keyword rankings, keyword search volume, but what could be also a reason, especially when we talk about, hey, did I actually lose a keyword ranking? And I said before, hey, check out, did actually now I did some ASO changes, or did I do any changes and I stopped targeting those keywords, and did it also impact my conversion rates? And one great way to check that out and to figure it out is by going to the conversion rate feature in AppRadar. You can see there as exactly when you click on the dots that you see here in that lines, which changes you did. So for example, here in September, what we did as a change is we changed the short description, and that actually also impacted the conversion rate. So always making sure which dates and on which dates did I do what, and how much did it impact and also the traffic behind, because obviously targeting different keywords or having a different style of writing in there could also heavily impact the search traffic behind it. That's why, yeah, always after every App Store optimization update, try to make sure that you set a blocker to also analyze the impact, especially on all your App Store traffic and also on a keyword ranking level, to make sure if you see any changes that are kind of jumping in your eyes to make sure to understand them and also act accordingly. Let's say if I see now, hey, it lead really to a decrease, then trying to make sure to also see, can I bring back that keyword? Should I change the positions in where I put that keyword? And how can I try to make sure that traffic is getting back on how I would want it to be? And yeah, obviously, last but not least, did I reduce my Apple search ads and Google App campaigns? If you see that if you reduce your ads, for example, and if you see that this leads to a big decline in the overall traffic that you're getting for your app, then I would definitely consider restarting the ads. Or again, if you just decrease the budget a bit, then try to see if you can increase the spend again and make sure to get also that organic uplift up and running again. And we have here, very freshly launched our new ads tool, which is a new and more modern interface in AppRadar, helping you to analyze your ad performance with unified filters. You can switch between dark and light mode, however you wish it to be. It's optimized for mobile, so you can also track your performance on the go and analyze the whole performance of your Apple search ads and Google App campaigns in our ads tool across, what is very important to say here, your whole app portfolio. So if you do have several ads running, ads on several apps running, that's what I wanted to say, then you can also make sure to analyze the performance here in that one single overview and get answers to questions like, hey, did now my search traffic decrease? Did I maybe also decrease the amount of Apple search ad spendings? Or did I have just simply less impressions from Apple search ads? And really see that always in a correlation, because also the paid user acquisition efforts will absolutely impact your organic performance and vice versa. So making sure to really seeing the big picture behind it. Okay, so we've covered now kind of the search traffic in a nutshell. So talking about really, hey, checking out when did the drop happen? So did I do any changes there in terms of metadata? Did my keyword rankings drop? Did the search behavior change behind it? And last but not least, did I reduce anything in terms of Apple search ads or Google App campaigns or in general paid traffic that could have impacted also the search behavior behind? Having that said, another important traffic source is the browse traffic. So as I said beforehand, everything that is related now to people browsing through the store and talking about being featured, being in the category rankings, and so on. And before, again, I start into what I would give you as a recommendation or how we actually did analyze the results, I would be again curious if anyone wants to share how to figure out why the browse traffic dropped. So if you have any thoughts on it, please share it again in the Q&A section, and I would be very happy to take on that comment. Okay. Don't be shy now. I will just jump right away into, someone wrote, sorry, my Zoom. Well, anyways, let's jump into the scenarios that I have prepared. I again structured it on how we did the analysis. So basically, on the one hand, I said browse traffic, what are the impact factors, mainly being featurings and category rankings. So as a first step, when I see, oh my God, I have like -20, -30% in browse traffic compared to my previous period, I want to know now what are the reasons behind. So on the one hand, I want to make sure that I check out, hey, did I actually get less days featured compared to previous period? Or also did I maybe get featured on different positions compared to the previous period where I get simply less traffic from? Then I said also the category rankings, so making sure to again analyze the trend over time. Did I get lower positions in the category rankings compared to the previous time period? Again, being an important role, the paid user acquisition efforts. So did I do there any changes, reduced, for example, the ad spend? And also here being important, did I do any store listing changes that could have triggered, for example, that I get less featured because I did, I don't know, did the completely new store listing in terms of screenshots that I use, or in terms of texts that I use there. Whatever changes I did should also take a look there. If I want to figure out that featurings could be responsible for it, again, you would simply come to your AppRadar in your AppRadar account and go to the featurings page, and there you can see really on a country level filter it, or filter it also by locations, and then check out the periods that you're interested in, and also see how is it compared to previous period. Maybe I got just a featuring during a specific time period for several days, but in the upcoming periods, in the upcoming time period, Apple or Google Play decided to not give me that famous spot anymore, and that's why then I also lost in terms of cross traffic. So really making sure to see, hey, was it now a featuring that impacted the cross traffic? And in general, if you get less days featured, I would recommend to check out also really the health metrics, so everything around crash metrics and so on, to make sure to really provide excellent user experience, because that is really one of the key things why Apple and Google also decide to promote your app for free in the stores. So making really sure that the user experience is really performing very well. And yeah, additionally, I also have it done later on the slides, but you can also, especially on Apple App Store, apply for featurings. There is also a form on the Google Play Store, but the form, as far as I know at least, they are not accepting requests at the moment. But on Apple, you can apply for featuring, and I would also recommend to give it a try. It is for free, so yeah, just give it a try. My recommendation here is to apply for it whenever you do, for example, one major update. Hey, major update to your app because you released a new feature, for example, make sure to let Apple know about it. Or if you're running in-app events, you can also apply for a dedicated in-app featuring and try to get your in-app event being promoted inside the browse section. Okay, but then jumping over, we have said now the browse traffic dropped. Okay, category rankings could have been one reason. And the other reason that is also very common is getting lower positions in the category rankings. And as we see here also in the example, we got kind of better positions in terms of our health and fitness category rankings in the middle of the year, so in May, June, but in June it started to drop then. And what we see here in that example, what is very often the case is, if I want to know now what is really the reason behind, why did I now lose category rankings? Obviously, it could simply be because a certain competitor did jump up in the category rankings and steal away my positions. I could simply also select here the dedicated competitors that I am interested in and compare it with my own performance. So that would be one way to check out, hey, did the competitor improve and outperform me? And another thing is also to see it in correlation with your download velocity in general. So talking about this is really key here to understand, or at least from my experience, that is the case, that whenever I see a drop in category rankings, it's very much in line with a drop in general traffic. So whenever the traffic goes up again, usually a few days later, also I see a spike in category rankings. And then it would take me again back to the point, hey, I figure out my category rankings dropped now. I want to know why. Now I see, okay, my traffic dropped overall. Okay, what happened? And then I come back again to the analysis across the different traffic sources. So maybe I had less Google Ads running, for example, and I figured that out. And then you will see whenever you do increase the overall traffic that you bring to your app, you will also see that the category rankings will go up again. Obviously, one thing to mention here as well is that seasonality also plays a role. So the stores also kind of look at how to promote different apps during different seasons that are fitting to the different apps and apps users. So good. And now we come after finishing the browse traffic session, so the analysis behind it, let me put it that way. We want to know, we have a third traffic source being the referral traffic. And yeah, I will be looking now with you into how to understand a certain drop in referral traffic. And again, if anyone wants to share thoughts why we could see a drop in referral traffic, I would be again very curious to hear about it. Anyways, I will jump into it and let me share my thoughts about it. Again, here, yeah, coming back to what is actually the referred traffic, we are mainly talking about things that are happening, or a big part of it is ads that are happening outside of the store. So for example, if we have Facebook ads running, that would be attributed under referred traffic. Or also if we do have, as said before, if we do have now Google App Campaigns running, as with the new attribution that got announced from Google App Campaigns, it is not anymore the case that, or let me put it that way, before Google App Campaigns were attributed to where the user was before landing on the store listing. That means if they land on the store listing because they saw an ad in the search results, it got attributed to search traffic. If your Google App Campaigns were displayed in the browse traffic section and the user clicks from there on it, it was attributed to browse traffic. And last but not least, if somewhere outside, so for example, YouTube ad, then it would be attributed, if the user clicks from the YouTube ad on your store listing, then it would have been attributed to referred traffic. Now Google Play, they announced that change, that the reporting on how they report on your ads traffic is changing, meaning that all the Google App Campaigns that you have running will be attributed under referred traffic. That is actually great, because then I know, okay, hey, when I analyze the Google Play app, I know that hopefully, yeah, that all the search traffic that I see here should be purely from organic. And the same goes for browse traffic. I would know, hey, that is really now organic traffic that I'm seeing there, meaning that is featurings that I got for free from the stores or being promoted in the category rankings that was again organically. What is also important to mention here, what I've seen lately are starting a bit, as they, from my experience at least, just kind of start off with reattributing those traffic sources, is that people in the app marketing scene are now seeing a certain spike in referred traffic, and at the same time, simultaneously, a drop in search traffic. And then you come again in front of the scenario, okay, hey, what happened? I actually went to those changes. I did not do any store listing changes. I did not reduce my paid user acquisition efforts. I also did not see any competitor getting more aggressive on their ad strategy, but simply, and that is not listed here, but I want to give it to you now as an additional tip, it could also simply be that you see that spike because it's kind of a reattribution from traffic that went beforehand from your Google App Campaigns to search and explore traffic is now being reattributed to refer traffic. So just making sure to also keep that in mind, because I think now it's an important time to mention that as well and to consider in your analysis. But let's again jump into the different scenarios. And as Mark also already mentioned before, if I see that a certain competitor is getting more aggressive with their ad strategy and in general with their app marketing strategy, it could be one of the reasons also why my traffic drops. In AppRadar, you can see if you can see on a keyword level, for example, which competitor is being the most aggressive on certain keywords, or you could also check out not only when we talk about Apple searches, but also for Google App Campaigns. Yeah, we know that on Google App Campaigns, you do not bid specifically on keywords, but you would still appear when people are looking for a keyword. Google would automatically attribute it or would automatically play that. And then it's kind of a miracle that we do not know for which keywords we do get displayed or competitors get displayed, but I could also check with our Inside App Radar. It's AI generated in the background, telling you how often or how many impressions do people or do competitors get on certain keywords, and maybe that was also one of the reasons. So really Instared's checking inside here, and obviously you can also check out, if we talk about outside of the store, for example, the Facebook ad library, that you can at least see, hey, do competitors now have active ads running, and what are their concepts behind? Did they get more aggressive? Do they promote now any, I don't know, Black Friday deals or any promotional things in general? And what are their kind of concepts behind it? So really always in all of the steps, I would say, making sure to also check out competitors. That is now, no matter which traffic source we're talking about, as we saw before in search traffic, hey, did they increase the bids, or did they do any changes to their store listing that could have impacted also my app's performance? The same for browse traffic, as I said before, hey, did a competitor get better or higher rankings in the category rankings, or get more days featured in my app not? And now the same when we talk about paid user acquisition, did they get more aggressive there and outperform my app? All right, now we kind of covered the different scenarios across the different traffic sources. And as I said, that would really be my recommendation, to first take a look at the different traffic sources, see what could be the impact factors. And besides all the scenarios that we went through now, also make sure to always check out kind of the big picture. So that meaning also check out, hey, how is your app health metrics? And what I mean by that is exactly the part about, hey, does my app now see a certain amount of high crashes? And if so, what are the reasons behind? So not only checking out, you will see on your App Radar dashboard also if you if there is a decrease, I want to say an increase, if you see a spike in crash rate, for example, could also jump into more details in the consoles, but on a high level to understand if anything is going on there, that will be very important. And also you could check out, hey, when I analyze now my ratings and reviews, that could also be a crucial impact factor when we talk about all the different categories, because let's assume that you do have a lower amount of star ratings, because a lot of people give you now bad star ratings. That is, I would say, a loop that triggers different things. On the one hand, you show to users that other users will see it. It will harm the conversion rate kind of when they land on your store listing. You have a low star rating and bad reviews behind it. Other users will be affected by it. Then on the other hand, it will also be assigned to the algorithm to promote your app less. So that being said, having less chances for getting featured, or having also a significant impact usually on your keyword rankings. So simply, the store is harming us if we do not provide a good user experience. And taking me back to the fact, making sure that the app performance itself is really stable and on point. And then also making sure, if you see those reviews, report it to your product team, report it to your dev team, and make sure to also answer those reviews and provide feedback to the users when they already give it to you, which is, I would say, very valuable still. How in general to improve? I mean, my clear recommendation, if we talk about user acquisition, how to go about it and how to make sure to get the most out of it, my clear recommendation is always to start all your efforts with App Store marketing as a first step. And if you have been part of any webinars where I've been before as a speaker, then you might have heard that before from me already, but really, I could not highlight it more, that no matter what you do, no matter from where you're trying to drive traffic to your app, the main goal should always be to bring them to your store listing, and then to convince them to download your app also, and hopefully to convert later on inside the app as well, but really making sure to bring those relevant users to your app. And that means no matter if we say now we are running Snapchat ads or Facebook ads, the goal is to bring them to our store listing and to convince them there. And if we did not work on our App Store marketing, so really on our especially App Store optimization, on providing a good and well prepared store listing page, then it will also harm our user acquisition efforts from no matter which channel. So really trying as a first step, try to fix your organic performance, try to optimize the screenshots you have in there, the creatives in general. So also talking about feature page, about a video if you want to test it, and the icon, and also make sure to use relevant keywords in your store listing, as this will also increase the chances of ranking higher in the stores, but also increase the chances of, hey, having a clear app description and app titles in there will also improve hopefully the conversion rate behind it. How to actually now improve the search traffic, I will, if you have anything to share, any recommendations that we want to share inside the small group that we are today, then please feel free to share it with your colleagues. Otherwise, again, I would just jump into to make sure to give you my recommendations on it. And I teased it before. One really key essential thing is making sure to also bring relevant users to your store listing. And that meaning I would really recommend to go to your keyword tracking page, cluster keywords in a way that makes sense for you. So one structure could be to target it simply by, hey, I want to have some generic keywords that I want to target, some brand and some competitor keywords, saving time at the same time, because I could use those keywords to simply not only target them organically, but also simply export the list and then bid on them with my Apple Search Ads campaigns, for example, and try to find, when I decide on those key focus keywords, that I want to improve my ranking on, then try to look for a decent search volume. Talking about, if you're just starting off, it could be a good starting point to look at the search volume between 20 to 40, for example, and at the same time being not too competitive, so that you also have chances to rank on. So talking about the difficulty level, and then ideally you do have keywords that your app already ranks on. So ideally you would take a keyword like, for example, in that case, I do have the ball sort puzzle. I see that it has actually a very good search volume of 42. Also the difficulty is okay. I do already rank on it on the top 20 position. Plus, ever since my last update, or plus since the last time frame that I selected, I also increased the keyword ranking. So what about, I would include it now again on a maybe higher position. I had that keyword beforehand, for example, in the short description only. What about it moving it to the app name itself, which is the keyword field with the highest ranking weight? So really making sure that, hey, I really want to target that keyword now because the search volume is good, the keyword ranking is already good, and I try to push it now to an even higher position and see if I can get to a top 10 position by moving it from the short description to the app name and thereby giving it a higher ranking weight. And then, I would simply do that change inside the AppRadar store listing editor, where I can do store listing changes across several locals, check on the same page how is the search volume, the difficulty, and the ranking for those keywords, so that I really can make sure that I'm also doing the right choices here. And then, before I publish it, can also check it out how it would look. So basically going on a preview page to make sure not only the keywords itself that I target are good in terms of metrics, but also in terms of how it would look like for a potential user that lands on my store listing, making sure to also check out the store preview. In general, here my recommendation would be trying to update your store listing metadata, I would say every 1 to 2 months. It kind of depends also how much or how mature is your app already in terms of organic performance. In the beginning, clear recommendation, I would say try to do it every 4 to 5 weeks to kind of make sure you trigger the algorithm, you help to identify also which keywords work and which don't. So not only for the algorithm, but also for yourself to take the learnings. Hey, probably I tried to target that keyword that I showed you before, but in the end, I see when I do my analysis, and coming back again to the analysis now about the different traffic sources and the keyword rankings and so on, I see that actually I did not improve my keyword ranking on that keyword that I put into the app name. Then really making sure to play around and to also learn throughout the process and see which other keyword maybe might be easier to tackle, trying to understand if it was too difficult to rank for on that stage of my app that I'm in. Do I need more traffic behind it? Was there anything else behind that could have impacted it? But really trying here to get into a regular cycle and update it on a local level on a regular basis. Good. Now we covered the part about how to improve search traffic, how to improve then our browse traffic. Would be, I teased it before, yeah, there are several things you can do to improve the chances of getting featured. In general, as I said already, it's really about, a big thing is about the app performance itself. That should be at 100%, yeah. There is that review to get featured on the App Store form that you can apply. And I said I would try to make a submission there and try to see if you can promote anything around a major update that you did. Try to provide a story around it as well. So about your development team, trying to convince Apple to promote you. I would not promise you now that they will take you, but as I said, it's a free chance to get out there, and it's definitely something that I would try. At least to bring the attention to your app. And as I said, if you're running in-app events, then also try to apply specifically or select here for what you're applying in-app event, and then tell the story on your time-limited event that you are running in the store, trying to really, yeah, bring the attention from Apple to feature you as well. In general, what are further tips to improve the browse traffic? If you do see a drop, yeah, after understanding what is it now, one other thing that is impacting it, of course, is the category that you select. And also when we talk about Google Play, try to check out the Google tags. I know a lot of app marketers that either do not use them at all. You can set up to 5. Yeah, it's again inside the Google Play console. Also inside App Radar, you can see them. Tags that you selected for your app, making sure that they also reflect what your app category and your app actually provides, because it will be again assigned to the algorithm for which keywords and which category terms you want to rank for and you want to be shown for inside the store. And also in terms of, yeah, category rankings, I teased it before. Yeah, try to see what can you do in terms of how to actually get back the traffic. The overall traffic now, no matter from which channel, but it will also help you to, again, boost the category rankings. If you get more downloads, it will trigger also higher positions usually, and you would see that usually after a few days. And then, yeah, what can also be another impact factor is what in general Google and Apple like, if you provide a localized experience. So really talking about a localized app store listing, but also a localized in-app experience. And last but not least, the new ad placement from Apple Search Ads that you could give a try to appear on the Today tab would be one thing to improve, at least on Apple Search Ads, the browse traffic as well. And now coming to, yeah, you might wonder, but how to improve the conversion rates, yeah, and that is actually now one thing that I would like to, as last chapter, cover in terms of across all the different traffic sources, because if you think back on the slide that I showed you before, meaning, hey, we really want to make sure that people that land on our store listing page, that they do also convert into installs. Actually, we want to convince them to download. And what can we do now to do that, or to achieve that, is obviously a big impact factor are the creatives that we use in there. I did prepare here some examples now. In that case, it's gaming related. Could be, hey, really trying to see, does a motivational approach work for my app, or does it help if I promote new features, because I could attract probably lapsed users or re-engage old users. Does it work better if I focus on the gameplay itself, really showing what you can do inside the app? Or also, like here on that example with the customization, that actually inside the app itself, inside the game, you can choose your look, you can customize your players and so on. So really trying to see, hey, really trying to A/B test different concepts here and see what works best for your specific use case. And some other examples here is how Study Smarter did it, is really working on that, hey, get a reward concept, or Headspace with the collaborational approach, or also simply maybe for your specific app or game, it's rather effect-based concept that works better. And also here, when we talk about those examples here, again, really making sure when I want to optimize the conversion rates, is taking also the learnings that I get from organic or vice versa, so that I get, for example, from a paid user acquisition campaign. I see that now that get a reward concept works very well on Google App campaigns, let's say. I might want to consider to also integrate those learnings into my organic store listing page, and also try to see what I can elaborate there in terms of my texts, in terms of my screenshots, or the collaborational stuff. What can I actually take out from the learnings that I got from there, and also implement them in my organic store listing. And obviously, yeah, trying to also use custom product pages, especially when we talk about Apple Search Ads, for example, or other campaigns. Trying to provide a customized user journey will also help you to improve conversion rates and lower acquisition costs. And we've seen a significant impact here when we talk about, for example, imagine it from that perspective that, hey, we do target the user. Yeah, we have set up specific campaigns where we target people that want to lose weight, for women, for example. And then from that ads that they saw, they arrive on the store listing page where the screenshots reflect exactly what they were looking for. So a woman was looking for options to lose weight. And then we see exactly on the screenshots reflected again the results of someone who made progress and how much weight they lost. Or another example, yeah, a custom product page targeting mental health. So again, the user arrived from the ad. He was interested in mental health because he clicked on it. And then I got him in the store listing page, and on the store listing, he arrives on that customized landing page where he sees again reflected the need that he or she was looking for, and gets displayed the mental health focus during within the screenshots. So really here, a great way to also provide that customized user journey, and making sure that you kind of, yeah, do it in a as much as possible personalized ways also inside the store itself. So if you haven't given it a try yet, make sure to check out custom product pages and at least give it a try, because I'm quite sure that it will improve the conversion rates and lower the acquisition costs if done properly. Other examples, if we talk about user journeys, is obviously in general trying to make those user journeys as seamless as possible. So as on that example, we see here one example from Black Friday. The Instagram ad, for example, from Black Friday sale.de was really targeting or really speaking in that design level on that Black Friday theme. And then we see also that the store listing page itself, even though it was not a custom product page, it's an example from last year, but also the custom product page was really optimized in the same, the custom product page, the store listing page I wanted to say, is really optimized again in that same theme. And also the in-app experience itself even is optimized all in that style. So really here, I would say a very good example for a seasonal user journey. Similar here, it's a match 3 game that provides also from arriving in the store listing and seeing that feature graphic that was used inside the store as ad as well, arriving then in the store listing with very Christmassy creatives in there, and also the title and the descriptions are mentioning the Merry Christmas app. And then inside the app also we have the gameplay really optimized in Christmas style. So again, having that seamless user experience and user journey is another great example, at least for a seasonal event. So if that fits for your app, it could be definitely something to leverage seasonal events as well, and trying to figure out how much you can leverage it for your own app and improve again the conversion rates across the way. That brings me to the end of this session. I do hope you got some good learnings out of it, and I'm very happy to see you as part of our new plans, the ASO and the Growth Plan consultation. I'm very happy that you have been part of this session. If there are now any questions left, we do have a couple of minutes. If there are any questions, just put them in the chat, and I would be happy to answer them in the next 5 minutes. Otherwise, I wish you all the best and a lot of success for your App Store optimization and App Store advertising. So everything around user acquisition. I hope that AppRadar will be a great help to further optimize your apps. And if there is anything, you can always reach out to me via email as well. Okay, we got one question. Thank you. Can you talk a bit about keywords versus key phrases? For example, if ball, sort, and bustle all have low volume and high difficulty, but ball, sort, bustle has high volume and low difficulty, should you put the key phrase ball, sort, bustle, or 3 keywords ball, sort, bustle? Okay, that's a very good question. The thing is, so when we talk now about we want to achieve, for example, the long tail keyword ranking, so we really want to target the keyword ball, sort, bustle. Let's take that as a first scenario. Then what I would do is, okay, let me check what is now the keyword ranking for that combination. So really the phrase ball, sort, bustle. I will check specifically what is the keyword ranking, what is the search volume, what is the difficulty level behind it. And I can also, of course, see what is what are those different metrics for the standalone keywords, so for ball, sort, and bustle. Probably that will be way higher, yeah, would be my feeling. Usually the long tail keyword or the key phrases that you mentioned here would be easier to tackle. That's why usually the recommendation is to target also those long tail keywords, especially in the beginning, and then work your way up. If we say now, we want to target this ball, sort, bustle. On Apple especially, we do have the possibility, when we optimize now the store listing on the Apple App Store, it could be that we insert in the app name, we put ball, in the subtitle, we put sort, and the bustle we put in the keyword field, for example. The Apple algorithm is so smart to combine the 3 keywords across the different keyword fields. So it is enough if I have inserted one of those keywords in the title, one in the subtitle, and one in the keyword field, and it will create the keyword combinations automatically and give a sign to the algorithm that I want to rank for those keywords. Obviously, the highest chances I would have, if I really want to go all in for that ball, sort, bustle combination, I could also give it a try and put simply that into the app title or the subtitle and see what it does. But again, here's really Apple is kind of smart in that way and combines it across the keyword fields. And if we talk about Google Play, it would be, I would say, similar. My recommendation would here still be, as on Google Play, the recommendation is to rather repeat keywords across the different keyword fields. If you really want to go all in for that keyword combination or for that keyword phrase, try to put it into title or short description and then repeat it 2-3 times in the long description as well to achieve the density, and repeat it several times, not going too crazy, but giving kind of a signal to the store that you want to rank on. Versus on Apple, not repeating, it's just useless waste of space. But yeah, I think, I hope that answered the questions, Vince. If not, please just let me know. Good. Then we got one question, is organic Google search traffic also attributed to web referred traffic? So if you do have, in general, when we talk about, as said, what I mentioned before, when talking about now Google app campaigns specifically, that is one topic that I think I explained beforehand that is now attributed to referred traffic. When we talk about website traffic that you get from your website where you promote your app, then it should also be attributed under referred traffic when you link there to your specific app, which you usually would have on your website, a link to, hey, get it on the Google Play Store, on the Apple App Store. That would be a classical referred traffic attribution, yes. So I hope that also answers the question. And then we do have from Mark one question about any chance to find out how many downloads a certain keyword got or how many downloads I need to rank. So on Google, we do have that option that Google Play gives me, and that we also show inside AppRadar, those numbers. If you go under analyzing your App Store traffic, your App Store performance. You do have on the one hand the metrics about the traffic sources, the countries, and so on, but you also do have on a keyword level the downloads and the conversion rate that you got. And there you can check it out in specific detail. If you want to know from Apple App Store, there is not that exact number that we do have, or that Apple provides, yeah, in that way. But you can at least to say, hey, how many traffic do I need to rank? I would take it as a learning from, if you see on a certain keyword, I achieved a good keyword ranking. Let's say the Bolsward puzzle example that I brought before, it had a search volume of 42 and the difficulty was 41, if I remember correctly. I could take it as a base that if it's also another relevant keyword that I try to tackle now, it's a bit different, but it's also very relevant to my app. Search volume and difficulty is similar. So probably I would have similar chances to rank on that specific keyword and would look at that direction. But yeah, as said, on Google Play, you get the exact numbers also from Google Play Console, and we do display that inside AppRadar. And for the others, I would look at search volume and difficulty level. And then we do have Matthias. Sorry, I meant the link direct from the question before. I meant the link directly from the Google search engine results page to the App Store, no website in between and no paid ad. If I understood it correctly, then yes, it should be attributed also to referred traffic if no changes recently have been done here again, as they have been doing some traffic sources attribution changes. But from my understanding, it should still be under referred traffic attributed, because it would be weird to be under the search results, as there we should have really search results that are happening inside the Google Play Store. Also, the browse traffic would come directly from the store where we have category rankings, featurings, and so on. And then we do have the referred traffic, which should be actually that usually. If there would be anything happen, I would be happy to let you know if I read something about it, but that would be my understanding. I hope that also answered the question. Yeah, that brings me already to the end of this session. I hope that you enjoyed it. And as said, if there is anything jumping into, or yeah, any questions after this session, please feel free to reach out to me via email, via elena.wiedmer@appradar.com, or also drop me a message via LinkedIn. I will be very happy to help you further. And yeah, I wish you all the best of success with AppRadar and using it with your new plan that you acquired now with our Black Friday promotion. And I really do hope to keep in touch and wish you all the best and a great rest of the day. Thank you guys, and see you soon.